What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the 2026 BMW X3. This is the M50 finished in Brooklyn Gray with an MSRP at $76,700. Big shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing the 2026 X3 for today's video. Check out their website linked below and let's get right into the slightly updated 26 model year for the X3. Taking a look underneath the hood of the 2026 BMW X3 M50, this is going to feature the 3-liter inline single turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. This is the B58 with a mild hybrid system. You get 393 horsepower with 428 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission. We get BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive system. Curb weight is around 4,500 pounds and it can do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. You're going to see a 17.2 gallon fuel tank and 21 miles per gallon in the city with 26 out on the highway. The overall length is 187.2 inches with a wheelbase at 112.8. Width is 75.6 and height is 65.4 inches. Ground clearance is also 8.3 inches and max towing capacity is 4,800 pounds. Now onto the styling for the 2026 BMW X3. Last model year, this was the all-new generation. Now for 2026, they've done a couple interior tweaks. So from the exterior, you're still gonna get these really cool dark housings on the headlights with the daytime running lights. I love the ambient lighting throughout those kidneys grills. You can see the white light around them when I tap the unlock button. There's active grille shutters, forward-facing parking camera, and you can also see the BMW logo up above with some sharp lines. Got your M badge as well. Very bold appearance. This exterior has grown on me a ton. I think this looks super cool. You have all your parking sensors throughout it, a functional trim piece, and then more gloss black throughout the lower bumper, along with some active grille shutters. You got a cool sharp line for the chin spoiler down below, and it really comes together to be a bold, modern-looking crossover. You have very sleek lines throughout the hood, just the sharp lines on the far side, fading towards that windshield. Just has a really cool, menacing style. And then at the side, we have a set of black wheels, 5-spoke design. You got the nice red brake calipers up front, and then just some sleek lines throughout the front fender. At the side, you're gonna have more sharp body lines throughout the lower portion, flush mounted door handles and body colored, and then we have the gloss black mirror caps, turn signal, as well as an integrated camera. There's all gloss black trim throughout the windows, and then we get a panoramic roof up front, along with a small shark fin antenna, and then the black roof rails. At the side profile, the X3 is more of a mid-size crossover, has a really good proportion. I like the bold style once again, and the rear end kind of reminds me of the new M5 Touring, just kind of has a flat rear end with some really sharp and bold lines. On the fenders, you can see those sharp lines as well, leading into the red LED taillights. They have a nice look to them overall, and then a very flat back end, your M50 badge, and I just like how clean everything is. More of the gloss black trim, and then a sweet looking dual exhaust with quad tips. Got a small light down below, a sharp looking diffuser with all of your parking sensors, X3 logo, and then an integrated spoiler up above. So honestly, the exterior comes together. It's a really cool looking car. For the key fob, we're gonna get the M colors on it. You got the BMW badge, there's remote start, you have your unlock, trunk release as well. If I go ahead and lock the car, you can keep the key fob in your pocket, and by just grabbing the door handle, it'll automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. For the door panel, you have this soft touch material up above, a fabric trim design down below, and I love the ambient lighting throughout this door handle. So pretty unique style. We have this gray color now on the release handle, along with a couple touch sensitive icons for lock and unlock. You have your memory seating. There's piano black now on the door, as well as this soft touch leather material with stitching, all of your basic controls, and then storage down below. We're gonna see an M logo for the door sill, along with the aluminum pedals. Power controls on the side with lumbar support and adjustable bolsters. There's a manual leg rest, which is a cool touch. And then we have the perforated leather throughout the center, all the nice stitching, really cool looking backs, and then a little bit of gray piping with gray leather going up towards the headrest. Sunroof looks very nice, all opened up, and then we have that sporty flat bottom design on the 3-spoke steering wheel with silver trim and the M color stitching. And then now moving to the interior with the 2026 BMW X3, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. taking a look at the gauge cluster now, you're going to get that full LCD screen with your speedometer on the left side, your speed, as well as the power percentage on the right with some information throughout the center. You're able to scroll up and down, see different items throughout the center screen. So nice designs with all the configurations. You can even get navigation popping up, more content like a G-force meter. Scrolling over, we have several different layouts you can go with to really customize this and make it unique. And then the heads-up display system is also configurable, which is a great touch. You're gonna get the nice red stripe on the top of the steering wheel. I love the smooth black leather. Massive paddle shifters on the left and right side, giving it a very sporty feeling. And then you have the BMW badge with the M logo down below. On the right stock, we're gonna get all the controls for windshield wipers, and then we have turn signals over on the left with some headlight controls as well. Down below, we have one of your air vent controls, which is all integrated into that door design. You have the Harman Kardon audio system, heads-up display system, and then we now have the stitching and the soft touch on the dash as a standard thing for X3s. So it does make this interior feel a lot more premium, having this nice material. Still a very interesting looking dashboard, the way it's just shaped. That might be the biggest thing that's throwing people off. For the multimedia screen in the center, we have all of our climate controls right here. Very easily you can configure the zones as well as temperature. We have our home icon down below, where you're going to see some climate controls staying here. So we have our temperature that's always down here, and then we can also toggle that for the heated, ventilated seats as well as your steering wheel. To do fan speed though, you have to tap that every single time. For audio, we have a full screen system for that, full screen navigation of course. We have different apps in the vehicle you can scroll through, phone integration as well. Now for the drive select, you just have your little gear shifter right here to go into the different transmission settings, and then we have our backup camera with a top-down view. You have a couple different configurable screens as well you can play with, panoramic view, and then a couple more you can take a look at. 3D camera system, so definitely no shortages of a really good view around this car. And we have our P button sitting right back here. Underneath the screen, we're gonna have this satin gray trim design, and then more of this ambient lit interior, which really does come together. It's a cool touch to see the ambient lighting on the doors, the dash, as well as this entire center. It really is pretty cool. And then this slot right here is for the air vents, and you have this little knob on the left and right side to configure everything. We can make further adjustments on this as well. We have the defrost and hazards. There's gonna be a lot of storage all throughout the center with plugs, wireless charging, got the M logo, huge area. And then right in the center, you're still gonna see that nice rotary dial along with all of your shortcuts. So you don't always have to use the touchscreen. I can tap different icons throughout the rotary system, and you can configure quite a lot. Going into your screen, going into shortcuts as well, and just making all sorts of adjustments. You can even go into your fan speed and control a lot. So pretty useful to have that screen set up. You can see those different shortcuts around it. Kind of has like a clear trim design. Volume right here, and then our drive modes. So when I tap that, it's gonna pop up on the screen. We have our sport mode. Of course, it's gonna pop up with a couple different settings, and it'll adjust quite a lot within the car. So really nice to see that in the M. So this one, of course, with that B58 engine, you have a lot of good stuff. We have other drive modes as well. And certain ones, that one's automatically opening up that panoramic sunroof, and it changes the entire colors of everything. Down below, you can see our auto hold as well, and then the nice smooth leather with stitching, and then a small glove box in here. And then over on the right side for the glove box, we have a large bucket as expected. One last look at the interior. So pretty much the same as what we've seen for the 2025 model year, just a little bit nicer materials throughout the doors, the nicer looking dash. Still the same shapes, which actually is quite nice. It's pretty well laid out with good materials. Huge sunroof up above. You got a camera system, all of your different controls, glass control, and then garage door buttons underneath the frameless mirror. And then moving on to the rear seat space, I can just grab that door handle, open it up. The rear door panel is finished off similar to what we saw up front. You're gonna get this soft touch material. There's even a nice manual sunshade. We have the gray color throughout it. You don't get the cool ambient lighting, but you just get the nice gray fabric accents, and then the light gray color for that padded armrest design. And then just more basic plastic on this back door. Rear seats have the same nice materials with the smooth leather and perforations all throughout it. You got the gray and piping up above. This can seat 3 people, and then we can pop that down for your armrests and cup holders. There's air vents throughout the center with these small little dials to adjust everything. And then we have a screen down below for this climate settings along with 2 USB ports. You're gonna see storage on the back side of these seats, and there's even slots where you can add tablets, which is a great touch. And then these seats themselves, you can pull this, and they're gonna fold down to give access into the back. So hopping into the back seat now with the 2026 X3. So I'm 5'11" sitting here. The sunroof is massive. You still got tons of headroom too. There's a lot of light let in through that ceiling. Now with the windows, they offer a pretty good design. You have grab handles, lights up above, and I like that you do have pretty good amenities. Now sitting here, there's no recline on these back seats, and I have the driver's seat at my height, and I still have a couple inches of knee room and foot room. The seat bottom is actually pretty well. It's comforting my legs nicely, so it's pretty good and supportive. Overall, this is a pretty useful back seat. You're gonna have to slide the seats forward a little bit to put a rear-facing car seat, but as an adult, I can sit here pretty comfortably. I wouldn't mind a little bit of recline and maybe just a little more room in general. Obviously the X5 is gonna give you that. But for the X3 and its size, it seems pretty decent overall. Moving on to the rear cargo space, there's gonna be a button right over here, and we have the power liftgate that is gonna automatically pop up. So in back, we have a pretty good amount of space with a small cutout over on this left side. There's a storage net on the right side. Got a 12-volt as well. And I like some of the accessories in this car. This carpet looks really unique. And then there's even these Velcro dividers, which is actually a pretty cool touch. You're gonna see a privacy cover as well that's very integrated. And then if you go ahead and remove it, just unlatching it from both sides, we can just pop this down and out of the way. Now for these seats, there's 3 individual seats. You're also able to pull this one completely down, giving you a pass through. So maybe a 4-person weekend snowboard trip, this car is gonna be able to handle that. And then of course, we can pull these all down as well, and you can reach it from here, which is pretty nice. They're gonna fold nearly flat, really maximizing the space. And as you can tell, it's a very squared off interior. To me, it's a very practical car. All right, so setting off now in the 2026 X3 M50. So I'm just in the efficient drive mode, kind of get my bearings with what it's like to be behind the wheel. Got my seat in a nice position. You have a really good view around. The mirrors all do a great job. The windshield is very large. Really no crazy blind spots. It's pretty easy just to see around this car. Suspension is absorbing the bumps pretty well. Being the M50, you know, the M competition doesn't exist as far as we know. I don't think they're gonna be bringing that one back. So this one's gonna be a little bit more sport tuned than maybe the 4-cylinder versions. But with that, you can tell the chassis is a little rigid. It's not backbreaking in any way, shape, or form. It's nice, smooth, and comfortable, but you can definitely feel a little bit of the bumps. You can tell there is the sports aspects to the M50. But overall, it's pretty comfortable. The seat fits me very well. I don't really have any complaints, just getting myself comfortable in this car. It's honestly a very pleasant car to drive. Now, when we play with the drive modes, this car really wakes up. Of course, we have that legendary B58 engine. Already in sport mode, things get really, really aggressive, which is nice. You can hear the engine tone, which is now a little bit piped into the speakers, obviously, but the exhaust valve does open up too, to where you have real exhaust sounds. Got a little bit of gurgles and pops on the downshifts, as well as when you let off the throttle. The brakes do a pretty good job. And I love this, the ambient lighting. This gives me a very sports feeling in the colors. And then of course, you know, just the interior ambiance changes quite a bit in these different modes. And it can actually kind of stay in the sport mode when you toggle between all of these other modes. So pretty unique. These drive modes are definitely a little funky with what they're named and everything. Gosh, this thing pulls, and that's just baby flooring it, not going too crazy on a new engine. But this thing books it, and you can see the front end lifting up as you accelerate. That B58 is an amazing engine in these cars, especially with the mild hybrid system. That's gonna give you a little bit better efficiency when you're coasting, and just a little bit of that electric power off the line. The 8-speed is super responsive, the steering is nice. This is fun to drive in the sport mode. Like seriously, this is probably one of the best performance-focused crossovers that isn't, you know, a $100,000 crazy vehicle. It's a really good blend. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. We just tone everything back down. Everything goes into just normal mode once again. You know, it relaxes. It's a really nice car to drive. You can hear a little bit of the road noise. It's not the most plush car in the world. Again, you want the X5 if you're gonna want more luxury as well as even more crazy performance. So this is kind of in the middle with, it is a nice, pleasant place to be. And honestly, the more I'm getting used to this new gen, I actually like this interior, which I did not like this when I first saw it earlier this year, end of last year. But with the lighting, it looks cool. The little tweaks with the colors, it makes it feel nice. The dashboard makes it feel nice as well. This car's been growing on me. Now, when it first came out, I didn't like, honestly, anything about it. It felt cheap in pretty much every way. The exterior, I will say, has grown on me a lot. I think it looks really cool, especially in the right color combo. Can't go wrong in Brooklyn Gray. There's a couple red ones in my area, and they look so good from the outside. So exterior-wise, it looks so cool. Interior-wise, I wasn't a fan at all from the beginning. I'm getting more used to it. I like the dashboard with the soft touch. All the ambient lighting makes it look cool. And honestly, the screen is a lot lower than the dash, so it actually kind of fits the interior better than you would think. I know not everyone is a big fan of this giant curved LCD screen. I'm not the biggest fan of them in general, but I think overall it kind of does fit the interior quite well. Man, that B58 has some power. This is significantly more power than what I'm used to with my old Toyota Supras, which have the same engine. But with the better tuning along with the mild hybrid system, you get some power. So maybe they'll make the S58 version, which is BMW's twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, which is what you saw in the old X3 M competition. I'm not sure if they're going to bring that back or not, but this M50 is a really good blend. It's still very economical. I mean, you're going to get good gas mileage, but you got some power. And some good sounds to it as well. The screens are pretty nice when you do play with the correct designs. So fun to have what you can adjust, be adjustable. I think it's a pretty cool overall layout. I think what throws people off with the dashboard, it is sloped downwards, and the dashboard is kind of like right here. Normally we're used to seeing dashboards kind of span the whole width of the interior. So it's just a little odd, the proportions, I would say, and that's probably the biggest issue. And then the fit and finish, the material use, people had a huge complaint with, just with the cheap plastics everywhere. And this one, you don't really see the piano blacks. They've added it on this door panel right here. You still get cheap plastic on the back ones. So a little funky with that. I'm not the biggest fan of piano black, because this is kind of how you're going to push the door open and you're just going to have handprints on it every day. So a couple things I'm not the most favored with, but with the ambient lighting trim pieces, I feel like that goes a long way just to make it look cool. And then the satin trim is nice because you're not going to get fingerprints, and this is kind of where I'm going to rest my hand to tap a lot of the screen functions, and you're not really going to get like fingerprints too bad on it. Sunroof, now the glass doesn't open, and apparently from BMW's own market research from their customer base, most people never opened the actual pane of glass, and leaking was an issue in general, so this made it fixed. Personally, I don't mind that at all. I just like this sunroof open like this, and that's about all I'm ever going to do. So it looks good being just one panel of glass. But I have been warming up to this new X3 and now experiencing the M50. I don't not like it, I guess I can say. I like it a lot. I think it's a pretty cool combination of interior and exterior. It is nice to drive, so give it a chance, drive it, and you start getting used to the interior. It doesn't feel as cheap as I remember. Like the way this is set up, I don't know, it's got a lot of space, so it seems pretty roomy. It's comfortable. But there is the 2026 BMW X3 M50. I'm liking this way more than I expected, so good job BMW for the few little tweaks you've done, and I guess with anything you start growing on the designs, and I think it's a pretty cool car. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content. Big shout out once again to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this new X3 for today's video. Check out the link to their website linked down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.